guys, welcome back to an episode by Brennan World 2. I believe this is day vlog 37 or something, or no, I mean 39 or something like that, so we're definitely getting up there, and I know you guys are definitely getting sick of day vlogs by now. I believe this is the most day vlogs I've ever had in a row on the channel, so I'm finally taking a break from the day vlogs, and I will put a little interruption in there with a fun skit video that me and Brayton and I filmed today with his RC cars. So get ready for that. That will be up on Monday. So for you guys today is Friday, but for me it's Wednesday. Yeah, so on Monday, so 2 days for you guys, I will post that video, and so that video should be a nice little break from the day vlogs, just a nice skit video, and I doubt it's going to be anywhere, I honestly doubt it's going to be anywhere over 8 minutes, so it's a pretty darn short video for my channel also. But first off, we have 2 reviews, which is pretty darn rare where we have 2 movie reviews or anything like that, but this time it's extra special because we have a movie review and a show review and kind of just like opinion kind of. But if you saw from the thumbnail, it is for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and 13 Reasons Why. So as you guys know, I usually, for shows, I've only done one review for a show, which was Iron Fist, and that was, I believe I gave my review on that, like 3 days after it came out, or actually like 5 days, because that's when I like finished it in 5 days. Yeah, so this has been out. I mean, it's still a pretty new show. It's been out for like a month and a half, but I am doing it. But basically, it's basically my review, but it's mainly, an opinion piece, like if I think it glamorizes suicide, or if it shows, like, realistic things, because you guys know, again, I'm part of the teen panel, and my article that I assigned myself to do for this, I didn't assign myself just a review for the show. I assigned myself what I just said, of course. So I'm just going to read through this real quick, and this pretty much gets everything out of the way that I want to say about it. So here we go. So 13 Reasons Why is without a doubt the most talked about thing on Netflix currently, but should it be? Throughout the school week, I finally got around to watching all 13 episodes of it, which was about, I believe, last school week, for me anyway. Because when I got this article, I decided that I better watch it first. I wasn't planning on ever watching it, but I'm glad I did. I just want to start off by giving my thoughts on it. I thought it was a good show and was more entertaining than I thought it was going to be, and it was a pretty powerful show. But my cons with it was that the acting of pretty much everyone was honestly horrible in my opinion. Most of the characters had their moments of good acting, but only about 2 of them were pretty good throughout, and that was Dylan Minnette as Clay Jensen and Katherine Langford as Hannah Baker. One of the other okay actors was Miles Heiser as Alex Standall, and he was also in my current favorite movie of all time, so far, Nerve. But other than that, no one ever sounded sincere, serious, or actually sad when they said some things, and it was just bad in my opinion. So anyway, on to whether I think the show is realistic and shows good meaningful things, or if I think that it is just mainly just a marketing campaign that somewhat glamorizes suicide. Now, if you don't know, the show is about Hannah committing suicide after 13 people do wrong to her, so she records 13 tapes and sends the box onto those 13 people in order. The main plot, along with that, is Clay's mom taking the case for the lawsuit between the high school and the Baker family on whether the school could have done more or taken action, or should take action better. My thoughts on all of this is I am half and half, because how it could be beneficial is it shows real life problems in that some people seem fine, but really they are not at all. And I think that it was somewhat realistic on how it portrays everything, and it shows how everyone is greatly affected in their own ways from someone taking their own life. But it still follows the cliched high school tones, you know, where it shows that all jocks have Letterman jackets and are awesome while everyone else is just a student, and how it seems as though there is like 20 minutes in between classes and everyone seems to be their own, or to be their way before, everyone seems to be their way before school, all hanging outside, when in real life people are scattered. Almost no one is hanging outside in the morning and after school. But my main complaint is that it would have made so much more sense to just have these 13 episodes with the 13 reasons why and the 13 tapes and all. But no, they didn't complete the story, so now they are making a whole second season or so to show if Alex lived or who wins the lawsuit. I just feel like they're just making money off of a girl's suicide, even though it's not a true story. It could have been perfectly fine just being 13 episodes. Now you might be saying, but what about documentaries based on horrible things? They get tons of money. But those are based off of true things, This is a show about a made-up suicide that was made into a live-action version of a book. But anyway, some other good things are that one of the co-producers of the show is Selena Gomez, which is good because she has dealt with some of the things like in the show in real life, and this is a huge step for her. The last thing I have to say is that another reason why I'm half and half is that in another way it kind of glamorizes suicide is that not all of Hannah's reasons were reasons to take her own life at all. Mainly the episode where Zach Dempsey is being totally nice and sincere and trying to cheer Hannah up after being harassed by Marcus Cole. She just screams at him to get away after he was just talking to her right in the middle of the cafeteria, and then makes that intro one of her 13 reasons why she committed suicide. I get that after some of the things that happened to her by that point might have made her paranoid to talk to new people, but it was just weird in my opinion. But the character of Bryce Walker did absolutely horrible things, and it just goes to show that most of her reasons were good, justified reasons. My dad said that he thinks that the scars on Clay that he gets throughout the episodes show how some people can be mentally scarred and some can be physically scarred. So that is why I'm half and half on 13 Reasons Why. I do still recommend checking it out on Netflix, and of course, I will watch the new episodes once they come out, and they just confirmed Season 2 a few days ago. So yeah, so I'm pretty excited for that. So that is my review and kind of opinion piece on 13 Reasons Why, so that's why I'm half and half and everything. But now, the main review of this video, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, the next step in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So as you guys know, the past 3 movies, I believe, I saw them on the day of release, which was the Lego Batman movie, then Logan, and then there was one more after Logan. Oh yeah, and then The Fate of the Furious. I saw all 3 of those on the day of release, but this one I couldn't. It was just too hard to get around within, plus it was like a bigger movie that like got sold out easier and everything. It wasn't sold out, we just didn't have enough time on Friday. But we went and saw it the day after release, which is what we usually do. Just those 3 movies I managed to go see on the day of release, but you can see it's about as long as my average movie reviews that I type up or just do anyway. But yeah, so here's my review for this. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is directed by James Gunn and is the sequel to Guardians of the Galaxy and is the newest installment to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It stars Chris Pratt as Peter Quill, Peter Quill / Star-Lord, Zoe Saldana as Gamora, Dave Bautista as Drax, Bradley Cooper as Rocket Raccoon, Vin Diesel as Groot, Michael Rooker as Yondu, Karen Gillan as Nebula, Palm Clementieff as Mantis, Kurt Russell as Ego the Living Planet, and Elizabeth Debicki as Ayesha. I just have to start off by saying I was hyped for this movie, but not extremely hyped, but I was wrong. Guardians of the Galaxy took me about 4 times of watching it before I really liked it, but I absolutely love this one. Now, this is currently my most favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie so far. Yeah. It even had more humor than the first one, and is definitely the funniest Marvel Cinematic Universe movie that there is so far. But along with that, this is one of the best times I've ever seen one of these big cast movies give almost the exact amount of perfect screen time to every single character, with at least one decent with at least decent importance. And Yondu in this one has a lot more character. He has more screen time, he has more humor, and he actually has more emotions than just, oh yeah, I'm the captain of the Ravagers. As most people are saying, he is really one of the best characters in this movie. Where was I? Right there. So Star-Lord, Gamora, and Rocket are pretty much the same, but even they have more character, and are a little bit better. Groot is, of course, Baby Groot in this one, which was hilarious and adorable. And one of the after-credit scenes in this one was him as one of the after-credit scenes in the last one was him as a little dancing Groot stick in a flower pot. But on this one, it's him being a half-sized teenager Groot being snotty with Peter Quill about cleaning up his room. Which, along with that, this is the most after-credits scenes I believe ever. There is 5 after-credits scenes in this one. 3 joke funny ones and 2 important ones. Anyways, Drax has the best jokes and is definitely the most hilarious character in this movie, and fans have been making conspiracies that Stan Lee is one of Marvel's Watchers characters, since in his cameos in every Marvel movie, he is always in different places, seemingly watching everyone. And in this one, he actually has a cameo on the moon in a spacesuit, sitting on a rock chair, talking to the 3 Watchers. And he also has another scene with them as one of the after-credit scenes. So I don't know if he actually is one of the Watchers, or if Marvel is just giving the fans a little nod. Anyway, we also get to see Howard the Duck in 2 quick cameos, and Sylvester Stallone plays one of the higher-ranked Ravagers, Stakar Ogord, which I wasn't a huge fan of, but he was okay. The visual effects, CGI, etc. was absolutely amazing. I just loved all of the colors and the really well done uses of slow motion. The storytelling probably wasn't as great as the first one, but still pretty good. Mantis was okay, I guess, but in my opinion, not great. She was very funny, but she just felt like she could have been introduced to the Marvel Cinematic Universe later, or could have been a smaller character. Aisha was not the main villain, of course, and that is good. Because as many of people are saying, every time the golden people are on screen, you're just saying, okay, can we just get back to the Guardians already? But in an after-credits scene with Aisha, it brings her up a bit, because it was probably the most I have ever fanboyed with an after-credits scene. But you will only know what I'm talking about if you are a true fan, but I will tell you guys after I'm done with my review. It is a slight spoiler, but I just gotta tell you guys, like, why I fanboyed so hard at that part, so I'll tell you that after my review. But anyway, but now, Kurt Russell as the main villain, Ego. As many people know, Marvel is rarely great at making good live-action villains, except for villains like Loki and Obadiah Stane. But Ego, in my opinion, is another spectacular Marvel villain. He is my favorite villain in any Marvel, Fox, or Sony Marvel movie, and he is just great. Mainly because he actually has a deeper connection to the main character, Star-Lord. I mean, he's his dad. Most of their villains are always just, I don't like you, so I'm going to destroy the whole world now. And Ego is just awesome, especially when he turns into his extraterrestrial form and becomes his planet. And how he teaches Peter his powers so that then they end up becoming rock monsters and fighting. And when Peter makes a joke about making his own planet with a giant Pac-Man statue and later becomes a rock Pac-Man with the sounds, yellow color, everything to get a good hit on Ego. And also he is played by Kurt Russell, which is just an amazing actor. Some smaller characters that were cool or somewhat big that I think at least deserve a mention are Sean Gunn, or Sean Gunn, or however you pronounce it, which is actually the director. The director is James Gunn, and Sean Gunn, or Sean Gunn, or whatever, is actually his son. So yeah. But big thing that at least deserve a mention are Sean Gunn as Kraglin and Chris Sullivan as Taserface. And Kraglin is supposed to be like the new Yondu, because, spoiler alert, if you haven't been spoilered, skip ahead like 4 seconds if you don't want this. Yondu dies. It was very sad. And Chris Sullivan as Taserface. In Guardians of the Galaxy's soundtrack was Peter's Volume 1 mixtape. So I really love how this one's soundtrack is Peter's Volume 2 mixtape that his mom gave him right before she passed away, that he finally unwrapped and opened and then put in the stereo at the end of the first one. Anyway, to finish this off, as pretty much always, I will definitely be buying Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 once it comes out on physical media, and I extremely recommend going and seeing this film. It is a really fun movie and definitely a huge score for Marvel. So yeah, so that is my review for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now the thing I wanted to tell you that's somewhat of a spoiler, so skip ahead like 10 seconds again, if you don't want any spoilers at all. But basically at the end, Aisha's talking to one of her people and she's saying like, we couldn't take down the Guardians, so we need someone else to do it, so I created this. And all of a sudden it like spins around from her to like this like big golden cocoon looking thing. And you guys know that a little Easter egg in the Collector's Museum on the first Guardians of the Galaxy, there was a cocoon, and everyone was saying like, oh, it's Adam Warlock, which is a very big character in like the Infinity Gauntlet comic book. You can actually see him right there. You probably can't see him, but he's a little gold guy right there. Yeah, but that James Gunn told everyone himself that was, he didn't mean to like actually make everyone think that Adam Warlock's coming very soon. But now in this one, he said that Adam Warlock is coming soon. He will be a very long-lasting character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for a while now. Once he hatches, and he should be the main villain on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, or whatever it's called, because at the end of Volume 2, he doesn't, like, have a Volume 3. He gets Volume 2 crushed by his dad, and then basically, Kraglin gives him this thing that Yondu found in, like, the scrapyard or whatever, which is basically, like, an older version of a MP3 player, iPod, or whatever. So he got that, so I don't know what it's going to be called, but it might just be called Guardians of the Galaxy 3 or whatever, but, yeah, but Groot, he said, might even be bigger than he was on the first one, if not still just a teenager or whatever. Yeah, so that should be pretty awesome. But basically, back to Adam Warlock stuff, why I fanboyed is, like, I didn't really get it at first, but then all of a sudden she, like, showed the cocoon and everything, and I was just like, wait a second, and then all of a sudden it just, like, cuts off, and that was, like, the second to last, after credit scene, but she just says, I shall call him Adam. And when she said that, me and Brayton just looked towards each other and we were just like, Adam Warlock. So yeah, we completely fanboyed. But that was basically that. The after credit scenes were awesome. There's 5 of them, of course, like I said. And yeah, so that is it for my 2 reviews of 13 Reasons Why and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Definitely recommend watching both of those. And on to the rest of the day vlog. Okay, so I'm going to kind of talk fast because I don't know how long that was. Yeah, so I just got 2 new posters, actually 3. Yeah, so my first one right here is of course, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I never had a poster up for Guardians of the Galaxy, because, like, I liked it, but not enough to put up here, but I was saying Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. If I liked that, I'd put both of them up there. And one of the reasons why is not only do I kind of love both those movies, that one I really love, of course, my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie of all time so far, but that's one of my most favorite movie posters, like, top 3 probably, like, just look at how beautiful it is. But as you guys know, my favorite movie poster of all time is that one for the very first Batman movie, Batman the Movie. And, yeah, but that is probably my second or third favorite movie poster. So yeah, so there's that, but that is Guardians of the Galaxy, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And, yeah, so we'll just add to that once the third one comes out in however long. He said it's going to be it's probably gonna be like 2021 or whatever, because it's gonna be after Infinity War and all that. But yeah, so other than that, we got The Hateful Eight, another film by Quentin Tarantino, and I noticed that after I watched that, Quentin Tarantino has directed he's directed 8 movies so far, and he said he's gonna, like, direct 10 or whatever, and then he might stop, but I honestly kind of think he's going to keep on going. I hope he does, because I really love his movies and everything. Yeah, but I noticed that I have now seen 7 out of 8 of his movies. The only one I have not seen yet is Jackie Brown, but of course I've seen Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2, Pulp Fiction, Inglourious Basterds, Reservoir Dogs, and Django Unchained under there, so yeah, so I have seen all of those, and then that is the 7th one I have seen, which is actually his newest one so far, The Hateful Eight. I believe it's also his lowest rated one, but it still has like a 7.6, which is still pretty decent. Of course, his highest rated one is Pulp Fiction, and that's like number 6 on the highest rated movies of all time, somewhere around there. It's pretty crazy. But, yeah, but this one's got Kurt Russell. He's definitely probably in my top 5 favorite actors. And, of course, Samuel L. Jackson. He's in almost every single one of Quentin Tarantino's movies. And, it's got Tim Roth. He's in a lot of his movies as well. And, yeah, but honestly, as you guys know, my least favorite movie by Quentin Tarantino right now is Inglourious Basterds. But that's probably my second least favorite. But that's not saying it's bad or I, like, didn't like it. It's just out of his movies, out of the 7 I've seen so far, it's just my second to least favorite. Just because, I mean, like, until there's actually, you know, if you know Quentin Tarantino, he's known for a massive amounts of gore and stuff. But it's just really, really kind of slow and somewhat boring for, like, the first, like, half. But then that's where it gets to, like, actual, like, good and everything. So, But yeah, once it gets to there, then it's really, really good, and I really liked it past there. But yeah, so The Hateful Eight right there, and on from that, one of the most iconic movies of all time, the 10th highest rated movie of all time, Fight Club. You guys have probably all seen this. I've been wanting to see it for a while, and I found it at Target in the Blu-ray section for $5, so I was just like, heck yeah, dude. Yeah, so I got it. Edward Norton, one of my most favorite actors of all time, and Brad Pitt. Came out in 1999, and yeah, so that is my updated movie poster wall, so definitely getting up there. So yeah, so next up, I'm just gonna carry straight on to my updated movie collection. So as you can see, it grew 3 movies bigger, because of course, as you saw from those movie posters, I got Fight Club right there. You can see the edge, and it is Fight Club 10th Anniversary Edition, because this version came out in 2009. And it originally came out in 1999. So yeah, definitely really, really love the cover. It's got Edward Norton right there and Brad Pitt right there, and just says Fight Club, and then 10th Anniversary Edition. And then on the back, you just got him, instead of holding the soap, you got special features. And basically, all that's different about the 10th Anniversary Edition is, of course, it's Blu-ray. So not only does it come with the Blu-ray special features, or exclusive to Blu-ray special features, but it comes with tons of extra special features right there for that. But and then on the on the disc itself, you can see they got the Project Mayhem monkey right there. But this wasn't really what I was expecting. It was definitely like just as good as I thought it was gonna be. But I thought it was just gonna be like a boxing Fight Club movie. But all of a sudden, like, it turns into like this like masterpiece type social problem mental health film, and like all of a sudden, like, Brad Pitt's character is like just this voice inside of Edward Norton's character's head, and he's just like, basically Edward Norton's character is Brad Pitt's character, and it was really good. I definitely really love the ending where Edward Norton's character like shoots himself but doesn't die, and then him and the girl just like stand there together, and like all of a sudden the Project Mayhem goes off and all the buildings blow up and everything and start collapsing. It was really cool. Yeah, so other than that, is another Marvel movie. I've been wanting to get it for quite a while now, just because like I somewhat like it. I'm not a huge fan of it, but just to have it. But also, if you guys don't know, Logan comes out on May 23rd, so for some reason it's coming out almost a month before the Lego Batman movie, even though the Lego Batman movie went into theaters a month before that. Somehow that's coming out on DVD first, which I don't mind at all, because I like Logan. It's one of my most favorite movies of all time. It's beautiful. You guys can definitely expect, I believe that will probably be on the next day vlog, if not the next one after that. But I am definitely going to get that. I'm probably going to pre-order it, because I do have some money right now, but I might pre-order it. If not, I will go to Target and buy it on the day of release. Blu-ray looks beautiful, like slipcover and everything. And yeah, so definitely excited for that. But the reason why is I'm going to put Logan right next to that. And yeah, so then I will have the Wolverine and Logan. So yeah, I got the Wolverine. You can see the spine looks very cool right there. And yeah, it's just got Wolverine on the front right there. And this is the one where he's in like Japan and everything. And the final battle is against Silver Samurai right there. And that's the back. And then the disc even has some cool artwork on it. I'm going to set down my camera right here for a second. And yeah, but basically the disc is what's on the back cover right there. So yeah, so pretty darn cool. But as you can see now, I have finished off my like first section of my movie collection up on this shelf. And yeah, I've started on that one. And basically I only need like one for like one of those like book movie covers or whatever, or holders on that side. And then this side I have like that bar thing back there and that bar to hold it. So it's pretty darn nice. And yeah, so Logan is going to go on that side, so then on that side. So then I'll have the Wolverine, and then Logan. So that is another one I got. That was only like $7.50. Fight Club was like $5. Yeah, $5. And the Hateful Eight, of course, was the Hateful Eight was, I believe, $10.50 or something like that. So yeah, so as you guys know, I've seen 7 Quentin Tarantino movies, but all the ones I have posters up for and I've seen, I don't have on physical media. But the only ones I don't own out of the 7 that I've seen so far is Reservoir Dogs and Inglourious Bastards. But as you can see, I do have Pulp Fiction right there, Django Unchained, which is my only steelbook right there. Very beautiful. But yeah, so I got that right there. And then I got Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2 on there, right there. Yeah, so those are all my Quentin Tarantino movies. But now I have The Hateful Eight. So you can see it's definitely got a nice feel to it. It's like paper and everything, but this is definitely one of my most favorite slipcovers. You can see the back is just really beautiful and everything, and you can probably kind of see the texture. It's like this really nice, like, kind of like newspaper feeling wrap thing. But you can see the front is definitely heavily embossed. The title is very heavily embossed, but then Samuel L. Jackson's character right there, you can see is popping off the slipcover a little bit right there. You probably can't see it too much, but you can definitely really feel him. And then right there you can see Kurt Russell's character and the girl's character, I can't remember her name, Jennifer Jason Leigh. You can see them right there, and they're slightly embossed. And then right here you can see Walton Goggins' character right there holding the lantern, and that's all that's embossed, but very, very cool. And I saw this slipcover before, and I really wanted it because it had this cool feature, but I didn't. But I thought, for some reason, I thought that this was a different slipcover, but I didn't even notice until I was opening it. Once I got home from riding my bike, this one, like that other one I saw, didn't have the little sticky goop stuff, if you know what I'm talking about. But this one did, so I just peeled that off, and it's like that packaging stuff, so it doesn't leave any residue, and it had a sticker on it, which usually the only time they don't leave any residue that you don't have to use, I use doTERRA stuff, lemon, to get the stuff off, like on Hacksaw Ridge, but usually it's only like the plasticky covers, like on Split or The Accountant or whatever, that the stickers don't leave residue, but this one's very paperish, and it didn't leave any residue, which is pretty surprising, but very nice. But the feature I am talking about is, you can see it opens like this, and there is some beautiful artwork inside. So it's nothing much, but for me, I absolutely love it. And you can see they got the main house place right there, and then they got all the characters right there, and then right there you can see some blood in the snow, and Kurt Russell's character right there, and Jennifer Jason Leigh. But yeah, so just some artwork. It looks like a painting or something, but that's just a nice addition. And then, of course, is a slipcover, so the DVD is inside. But the DVD for this one, unlike the other two I showed today, is not too exciting. It just says The Hateful Eight. But I really love the Quentin Tarantino movies, because I would say that is definitely my most favorite slipcover I own as of right now. And then probably La La Land, and then Nerve. But yeah, but then not only does Quentin Tarantino Physical Media have my favorite slipcover of all time so far that I own, but he also has my favorite movie box that I own, because Quentin Tarantino's movie Django Unchained is the only steelbook that I have so far, and that's my favorite movie box. So yeah, so definitely a lot like that. So can't imagine if I get any more Quentin Tarantino movies over time, which I probably definitely will. They might be, again, more cool boxes than usual, but those are my 3 new movies. So next up is my updated YouTube wall, which I haven't showed this updated in a long time, ever since that. But I made this like a week and a half ago or so, but it's basically for iDubbbz TV. I've been subscribed to him for quite a while. He is, like, the funniest YouTuber I know. I've also been watching some Brandon Rogers. He is hilarious. So iDubbbz TV and Brandon Rogers, if you haven't checked them out, check them out. They're very inappropriate, but they're hilarious. So I basically put all of his most famous memes and characters from, like, Super Mario Brothers Attack on Donkey King, or whatever it's called, his legit review series stuff, the little green man person thing, the content cop, and then I put Sheen from Planet Sheen and Jimmy Neutron, because he looks like Sheen. And then yeah, and then I put hey, that's pretty good, right there. So yeah, so that's my iDubbbz TV. Finally got something up for him. And oh yeah, my bamboo right there. If you want a little growth thing, the leaves have got a little bit bigger, but it hasn't grown much, but it's grown a little bit. So yeah, just in case if you wanted to know that. But next up is my 2 new drawings on my superhero drawing wall, or whatever, superhero wall, which is my 4th and 5th favorite, superheroes, Rorschach and V, from Watchmen, and V for Vendetta. And basically, I drew this one first, which is Rorschach, and you can see all 3D, and that looks really, really good. My family and friends really loved it. And I drew Rorschach kind of like a Rorschach test, which is basically what he's named after, like his face, how it's always moving in the movie and the comics and everything. The Rorschach test, where you say, like, what do you see, or whatever. And I kind of made that kind of like a Rorschach looking thing. But then I drew the Watchmen logo, and then Rorschach. Actually, I guess the Watchmen logo is pretty much, where is it? Pretty much that, but that's Watchmen, like, title anyway. And it says Rorschach, and then, like, his main quote, I just put this. There's a lot of cuss words in between, so I didn't want to draw that, so I just put ... and drew the first part and the last part. So I just put, "The city is afraid of me, I've seen its true face," and then up here, look up and shout, "Save us," and I'll look down and whisper, "No." So it's just really just awesome when he says that in the movie and everything. Plus, they made a sick meme out of it when me and Britton always laugh really hard out of that guy that says, "Free real estate." But it's just like, look up and shout, "Save us," and I'll look down and whisper, "Free real estate." So, it's pretty hilarious. But that was kind of random. But on to V, you can see he is very 3D, and that's pretty darn good. And as you guys know, I do everything freehand. I know, like, tracing and all that is completely illegal in my book. I never trace. I used to when I was a little kid sometimes, but probably for like the past 5 years, I have not traced anything at all. But not only that, I honestly don't even like using straight edges. I don't like using those, like, tools that you can get for art to draw, like, perfect circles. I just say everything's cheating except for freehand in my book. So I freehanded all that, and that's pretty darn perfect and, like, symmetrical. But you can see he's 3D. I want to say as 3D as Rorschach. Definitely not my favorite, best drawing of all time. That's amazing. Yeah, so I just drew his face right there. But then my favorite quote from him, "Beneath this mask, there is more than flesh. Beneath this mask, there is an idea, and ideas are bulletproof." I just really like that quote, and I drew the V for Vendetta logo right there, and then V, and I drew his name right there, really cool, like, kind of like how I did his artistically. And I did his artistically kind of the royal colors and the royal kind of look, and then I put his 2 daggers spinning in slow motion like they always do on the movie. And yeah, so those are my 2 new things right there. And last but not least, the last thing I have to show is I just want to talk about the intro real quick. Hopefully you guys liked all those cars. I was freaking out once because my dad said that him and Bailey saw a Ford GT on 10th the day before, and I was just like, oh man. And I was kind of bummed out that I didn't get to see it or get a picture of it. All of a sudden, the Cruise and the Drag, the biggest car show in Montana so far, annual car show, was the day after, and the Ford GT was there. And as you guys saw, I finally got to see Mr. Chung's Lamborghini. If you guys don't know Mr. Chung, you guys saw that GTR on that picture of, like, the coolest cars I managed to take a picture of so far in my life. And Mr. Chung is actually he's the dad of this kid that I go to school with, and he's a doctor, and he also works with he doesn't, like, work with my mom, but he's, like, one of my mom's doctors. Yeah, he's actually the guy who owns the GTR, and I finally got to see his Lamborghini, and that's one of the nicest cars I've ever seen. So hopefully you guys like the intro, all the things in that. So the last thing I have to show is my fidget toys. So as you guys know, in a day vlog quite a while ago now, I showed my first ever fidget toy, like the first ever original fidget toy, which is the Fidget Cube. So just in case if you guys didn't see that day vlog, this is my Fidget Cube. It's got this nice lanyard so you don't drop it or anything. And it's just got this little spinny dial thing. These, like, 5 things that looks like a dice. You can basically just click those. This thing, which you can spin somewhat. And then you can also push it down or, like, use it kind of like a joystick. And then, like, a little light switch thing. These little gear type things where you can kind of just go like that. And then the ball, which you can just roll around. And then, yeah, and then just this, which is kind of like a worry stone, which you can just, like, rub. And I got that. But it was working for a little bit, but then I stopped, like, just my mind just never wanted to get it out, and it was just not working. So, one of the most trending items, probably the most trending item right now, is the fidget spinner. So I decided to finally hop on the trend, but I posted on Instagram that, like, as you guys know, I've actually been, like, medically diagnosed with ADD, OCD, anxiety, and depression. So, like, I actually have, like, because a lot of schools are starting to ban these, but luckily if they do ban them at my school, I have this thing called a 504, which, actually allows me to have extra time to complete some assignments, use fidget toys whenever I have to, and I can just, like, take a walk out of class if I ever need to, if I get too anxiety-like, yeah, usually I'm pretty fine about everything, but, I got this, which is my fidget spinner. I absolutely love this thing. So if you guys saw the picture on the thumbnail and everything, I got this. And my max time so far was actually when me and Josh were spinning it so fast that the middle was even somewhat moving, and it was like kind of gliding on the table. We spun it so fast, and it went 2 minutes and 10 seconds. That's the longest I've seen the spinner go out of all the reviews and everything I watched for it. And yeah, so 2 minutes and 10 seconds at max for this, I believe. But basically it is Werthix, however you pronounce that. That is their logo right there, the cool little W, and it says Werthix. And I got a case, and this is like a legit case. I will leave a link down in the description if you want to buy this exact fidget spinner on Amazon. It is, I believe, $18.99. But yeah, so about $20 plus. I have Prime, so I get free 2-day shipping. But if not, then you will have to pay shipping as well. Yeah, so the case is legit. Like, you can hear it is a hard shell case. It's very nice. This does not rub off at all. It's been sitting in my backpack. I put it in, like, the most cushy parts, but it seems fine, and it unzips very nicely, especially since it's a triangle shape. Down there you got that. And then, yeah, so it unzips very nicely. That's the zipper right there. But once you open it up, it's got, like, this nice seal thing where you can, like, kind of, like, click it a little bit, but yeah, but then on the inside it is soft everywhere, and you can see right here they got this nice little net in here with a little bungee strap which holds the fidget spinner in there right there. And if you I thought it was going to be hard to get out and in at first, but if you guys are wondering, it is not. It comes out just like that. You just got to kind of like angle it up, and then just comes out like that, and then that's the empty case. And then to put it back in, kind of just go like that, and then you can see just like that, it is back in, and it holds it very snug, and I love how it's triangle shaped. But this is my fidget spinner, so I'm not going to like spend 2 minutes and 10 seconds on like showing you how long this can really spin or anything. Yeah, so basically what I was saying about like how I've actually been medically diagnosed with that stuff is I was saying like on my post that I hate how like everybody just took these and are getting them banned from schools and everything, even though it probably won't affect me. But they're just like taking them and making them into a trending toy. It's just like, because it just kind of bugs me, because like if you haven't actually been like diagnosed with that stuff, you're basically just using it as a toy. And there's like all these like 7-year-old kids I see walking around, and they're like at the mall, and they're like 3.5 feet tall, and they're just like kind of sitting there just going like that. And it's just kind of weird because they're just using them as like this like trending toy and everything. So then like I actually like need this. So then like once it's not a trend anymore or anything, everybody's gonna be like, oh, you still use those? And yeah, but as you can see, the middle spins for quite a while too. But it's got the logo right there, as you can see, the Werthix W right there. And then the bearings are pretty good. They're 608 RS, but the actual bearings are ABEX 7s, which is a pretty good bearing. And it is just black ball ceramic barrier. It is black ball bearings with ceramic walls, and this is made out of enforced ABS plastic, which ABS plastic is what Legos are made out of, which you guys know is already indestructible enough as it is, but those are hollow, and this is enforced ABS plastic, and it's not hollow. So this, my dad said you would probably crack this before warping it. So this is pretty strong, so don't worry about if it's metal or not. And this is probably honestly the best one you can get for $20 in my opinion. There are others that are probably just as fine. Yeah, so you can see they got nice orange caps over the bearings, and it's not banged up at all. I've only dropped it once, which was just today actually. I was just kind of like spinning it, and then it hit one of my other fingers and kind of just fell on my hand, but my friend Joel actually touched it and like flew across the floor and hit a desk and stuff and health and everything, but there is absolutely no damage or anything. So this is very, very strong. I love it, and you can see it is very, very fast, but it's also pretty darn quiet. Like, you can hear it like when I'm going like this. Like, you can hear it like that, and like this it's a little bit louder, but if you hold it like this, you can see it is a lot smoother and very, very nice and quiet. So yeah, so it is definitely a quiet enough spinner. I usually spin it like this, but really, unless if there's like, even like this, if there's like, you still can't really even hear this at all unless if it is dead silent. So yeah, so it's pretty much fine no matter what. The caps do come off. You just kind of gotta use your thumbnail or one of your nails or whatever and kind of go around it, because they don't really just like pop off, but you just go around your nails, and you can see right there, you can see the bearings in there, just in case if you got to do any maintenance work up in your bearings. Yeah, and then they just kind of pop back on there. Yeah, so I have taught myself some tricks, basically just like spinning it, and you can balance, or I didn't get a fast enough spin. You can just go like that, balance it on one finger there, just like so. Or you can flip it over and balance it on your thumb, which is easier. So that's on my thumb. Or you can hold it kind of on the edges and switch it from hand to hand. And I haven't quite mastered like tossing it, but I am getting a little bit better at it. But this is probably the most advanced one that I've done so far. But basically, you go on your nose, and you go like this, and then like that. That one was a little bit uneven, but there, and yeah, see, like that, I got it a little better that time. But if you just balance it on the tip of your nose, it's kind of terrifying. That's gonna like hit your eye socket bones or whatever. But one hand I used to suck at, but if I just hold it with these two fingers and use this finger right here to spin it, I can get it almost full speed just with that finger. But again, you can see it might look weird on camera. On my iPod, it didn't look weird, but I know on most cameras, it looks like it's like spinning slow and then spinning the other way. But really, it's spinning full speed. I don't know if it looks weird to you guys, but I don't really know. But you can see I definitely love how it's not just plain colored, because I really love how it has the orange, so it's got like the orange strip in there, and it looks very cool while it's spinning also. But yeah, and since it is indented a little bit, so you can hold it with your fingers easier, of course. And of course, you can spin it on the table. Of course, I'm only using one hand, so it does look weird on camera on here, because it looks like it's spinning a little bit slower, but it is going full speed. I can see now. Yeah, so you can spin on the table, and that's when you get it. So I'm gonna see if I can get it like full speed real quick. So basically, you just gotta hold on to it with like both fingers like this, and then just like bam. And you can see even the middle, it kind of stopped right when I got the camera on it, but the middle was even moving a little bit. But that's like full speed, how you get it to go like 2 minutes and 10 seconds. You can see it's really going fast now, because wow. Yeah, I wish you could see it like through my eyes, because for me it's just a orange spinning circle, but on the camera it looks like it's just going back and forth. Yeah, so that is my fidget spinner. One last little trick that I want to show is basically just spinning it like that, and then you basically kind of drop it and then just stop it like that. It's very simple, but just putting that back in there like so. Zip that back up so I can bring it back to school tomorrow. I've been using this every single day in like every single class. I can tell you, if you have to choose between any of these 3 fidget toys or any of the fidget toys, get these, because these actually work if you have ADD or anything. You've been medically diagnosed, because then it's just cringy and you're wasting the 504 stuff. Yeah, so this is the last one. I saw these and I thought they were kind of dumb at first, but these are actually pretty satisfying. We went to Amazing Toys after the car show, and we found these. So yeah, so basically what this is it was just at Amazing Toys, and you could either get one without a lanyard, which my little brother got because he got something else along with it, but I got one with a lanyard just because this was all I got. And this was at the ones without the lanyard were $2, but these ones were $4. But they actually came with like a full-sized not S-Beaner, but one of these clips. I can't remember what these ones are called. because I have an S-Beaner. It's like a tiny little one. It's like that big, but it can hold 10 pounds, which is like more than most of these can hold. But that's actually the first time I've taken this off. But it's got like my 2 favorite colors, kind of, including this. It's all blue. As you guys know, my most favorite color is cyan. But this doesn't really have like cyan, but I mean, it's got like sky blue and just regular blue. But you can't really put it any other way, which kind of sucks. So it kind of has to be upside down. But because any other way, it's gonna like kind of warp this and everything. But it's very nice with that. I haven't brought this to school, but this is actually very satisfying because when I saw these, I thought they were kind of dumb, but they are actually kind of satisfying. I cut off the tag right there if you're wondering. But basically, there's like this little marble inside, if you can kind of see that, and you can just squeeze it back and forth, or really pressure it in between your hands or your fingers and go pew, and just shoot it to the other side. And it's actually very satisfying. It's like those like kind of Chinese finger trap materials. But you can see it's kind of like, looks like one of dead rats going down a snake's throat. But the really satisfying thing that I learned is when you squeeze it together and make it do that, like kind of like a Chinese finger trap again, and then the ball is loose, and then you might be able to hear that a little bit. I'm spinning it inside of it, so then you can just kind of sit there and shake the ball around in there, and then you can either just let go, or you can go like pew. So it's kind of like those things where you push them down and then they launch up, again in the kind of Chinese finger trap material where you kind of just push them down and then let go and they shoot up. It's kind of the same thing as these, but of course they don't shoot up. Like if you kind of let go of them, they still don't really do anything. But again, you can just squeeze them back and forth. And if you can find these, I definitely recommend them. Like they're only $4, and it's not too bad for $4. But those are my fidget toys. I don't. It's pretty much all the like good. Those of course are the 2 like best ones and the most iconic trending ones. And the best for actually medically diagnosed people. But this one is kind of almost with them. But other than that, there's no other fidget toy really as of right now that's like too iconic. There are some other ones that are getting up there, like the fidget rings and all that stuff, but as of right now, the fidget spinner, fidget cube, and the fidget stick, or whatever you call this, are probably the 3 main ones. So I got the 3 main ones. So this is my full, I call it my ADD arsenal. It's meant to be stupid. It really is just my fidget toys, just to be dumb. I call it my ADD arsenal. So yeah, so I use this one for school. These 2 I kind of just have now, but I guess those are kind of just for fidgeting at home, and I play with that a ton at home too as well. But yeah, so that is everything I had to show. So hopefully you guys love the intro. I know I definitely did. Definitely some amazing cars. Definitely so happy I saw those cars. That was I forgot to tell you, but that was actually my most favorite car show I've ever been to in my whole life so far. Because not only did it have like all the cars that we usually saw, it had another Tesla Model S and all those, but it also had like, yeah, a Rolls Royce, a Ford GT, and then up the street at a car dealership, one of the car dealerships in Great Falls, one of the many ones. They had that Challenger SRT Hellcat, the first one I've managed to get a picture of, and the first one I've seen in real life. And then also that Genesis, which was pretty cool as well, which that was the picture of that red car on one of the pictures at the beginning. So yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this day vlog. Definitely watch out on Monday for that RC video. And that is it for this day vlog. So finally a break from the day vlogs for you guys. Hopefully you guys all enjoy that. You're welcome. Even though I'm kind of getting sick of the day vlogs because they're boring as heck and they suck, to be honest. But one more subscriber and we're at 666. Still waiting for that screenshot. Definitely want to screenshot that. But yeah, so that is it for this day vlog. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.